Have you ever seen a junkie or even heard of a junkie that couldn't find a bag of dope? Dude, they always find it. Always. Do you think a junkie ever wakes up and says, you know what? I'm going to be an active member of society. Today's going to be completely different than usual. I'm never, ever going to do drugs ever again. Does a party girl ever think, you know what? I don't think I'm going to go to that champagne party this weekend at the Fontainebleau. Does a final expense trainer viewer ever watch one of our videos and think, man, this Doug guy, he's full of it. Maybe I shouldn't give this video a thumbs up. No, no, and no. What do you think? Smash down on the thumbs up button right now, guys. I'm Doug Massi. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, what the heck are you waiting for, man? We're busting our butts to put out new content just for you every single week, and make sure to hit the notifications tab so you don't miss any videos on our Final Expense Trainer YouTube channel. Oh, and if you stick and stay and watch this video all the way to the end, I'm going to share with you this free new agent starter kit that's absolutely loaded with all sorts of killer sales materials that you're definitely going to want to use during your final expense sales presentation. When a coked up party girl wants to get down to South Beach to hit that fancy party that's at the Fontainebleau Hotel, she will always find a way to get there. And when a drug addict is totally out of drugs, he will always find a way to get more drugs. They never think, how hard will I have to work in order to get what I want? No, the only thing on their mind is getting their dope. I know what you're thinking. Oh, Doug, that's so offensive. I don't care. You know what's offensive to me? You not wanting to spend money on leads and the simple fact that you have no idea what it's like to drive 3 hours to your final expense sales appointment only to work a 16-hour field day before you get home at like 10 o'clock at night. All right, I don't know where that came from. Seriously, though, you know what's really offensive? Being broke. Now you're thinking. I need you to think like a junkie. You want me to shoot dope? No. I don't want you to do drugs or waste your life partying or do anything that could hurt you or your loved ones. I want you to be super successful at final expense sales to the point to where you can do like anything you want, own a beautiful home, go on lavishing vacations, have a super exciting and awesome life, and have the retirement of your dreams. I'm simply suggesting that you take that same level of focus and motivation that a junkie has for getting drugs, that a party girl has to finding a killer party, and use that focus to get your butt out there and make a six-figure income selling final expense. Let's make final expense sales the new heroin. Look, if there's one thing I know, it's that you will always figure out a way to do what's important to you. Your success should be the most important thing to you, and the cool thing about becoming successful at selling final expense insurance is that all you have to do is sacrifice a few short years of your long life today so that later on you never, ever, ever have to sacrifice anything again. So a while back I was sitting with this couple doing a final expense presentation. Older guy, much younger gal. They lived in a really shabby, rundown apartment. You know, typical final expense people. Meanwhile, they had a brand new Cadillac in the parking spot. Sweet ride. And the girl was like 25 years younger than him, had a fancy new iPhone. I know it because it had all those cameras on it. And of course, since their priorities were obviously screwed up, I had to fight with the guy to buy the final expense life insurance. He actually said they didn't have enough money to pay their bills each month and had the electricity turned off just a few weeks ago. My point is, guys, they didn't have a pot to piss in, and he figured out a way to get himself a much younger woman. She figured out a way to get herself a brand new iPhone, and somehow they did whatever it is that they had to do to end up driving around in that sweet-ass ride, that brand new Cadillac. Damn. I probably need to go back there and get them licensed to sell final expense. Here's my perspective and thinking in all of this. Most people do what they want to do most of the time instead of doing what they should be doing most of the time. All I'm suggesting and what I want you to do is whatever it takes to be successful and have that six-figure income that only around 10% of the United States workers experience and have. We all have the ability to make that kind of money because of our licensing. I'll never forget something that I had heard at an insurance marketing / recruiting meeting. It's two statements that always did stick with me for many years, and probably part of it is because it was the only two things that were said at that entire meeting that weren't complete BS, manipulative recruiter lies. The first, having a life insurance license is like owning your own money printing machine, which I've learned is totally true. All you have to do is plug the sucker in, flip on the switch, well, in other words, get your ass out there and do some work. And the second statement this guy said, or maybe it was a different guy that I heard, if you're living in the United States and you can't figure out a way to make a six-figure income, that's kind of like starving to death while you're sitting in a grocery store. It's the greatest country in the world. You'd have to be a damn moron not to make it here. You get where I'm going with this. I always say that final expense is the easiest thing that I've ever sold, and I've sold a lot of different things throughout my lifetime. I mean, you can simply drive down the street to a low-income neighborhood, park your car, start knocking on doors, and sell final expense life insurance. I mean, it's literally that freaking easy. Well, just to be clear, selling final expense is a very simple process, and pretty much anyone with the right work ethic can have a lucrative living by just working. I mean, I truly have a hard time wrapping my mind around the thought of anybody that's not willing to sacrifice a few years of their life right now, that's just not willing to bust their butt for just a little while, a few short years, in order to have a really awesome life later. How can I make people stop being lazy? Guys, I don't come from a wealthy family. My father was a career bartender and my mom was actually a career waitress. They never suggested that I go to college, but I did learn something very, very important from my father that always, again, stuck with me. If you work hard, you have a good life. Novel idea. Working hard? Now, he never said that to me, not word for word. He always led by example, and therefore I saw what he did, and eventually I started following his lead, and it kind of sucked at first because it was so hard, but now the sacrifice is all behind me, and we're living a pretty darn sweet life. If a high school dropout like Moy can do it, literally any half-witted idiot can be successful at final expense sales. What extremes are you willing to go through in order to change your life forever? For a copy of the free New Agent Starter Kit that I mentioned earlier in the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. And if you'd like information on joining our top producer sales team, just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember, guys, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now, get out there and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.